So we decided to team up with P. Sokol from TechPowerUp and do a little top 3. We will list our favorite releases of the year, and if you guys have been watching my channel previously, you most likely know that Pulsar X-Lite Wireless is going to be one, so I'm going to be listing only 2. I made a video about the X-Lite Wireless a few weeks ago, so you can check it after this video. So my first mouse will be the Vaxi Outset AX. The Outset is one of my all-time favorite asymmetrical mice. The shape is just so good for any kind of claw grip. The Outset is also the first mouse that opened my eyes to tilt grip a little bit, so where you basically tilt your wrist towards the right a little bit and grip the mouse. This can improve mobility and comfort for some people, especially if you have struggled with wrist issues before. The Outset AX is just so well made, it's built like a tank, it feels very premium with the matte coating and even the glossy one, and everything just seems to work out for me. The main mouse buttons are very light and easy to actuate, and the click feel is still very crispy and tactile. These are some of the best clicks I've tried, especially for gaming. The debounce setting is adjustable from the bottom of the mouse, and with that in 2 millisecond option, the click latency will be top tier. The main thing about the Outset AX is of course still the shape, so it's very high profile, quite short, and it's actually quite thick. It does feel quite bulky in hand, but because of the length, it doesn't feel too large. With my 19x10cm hands, it's very comfortable for claw, tilt grip, and pincher claw. Basically almost any kind of claw. It's one of my favorite mice of all time. I just can't wait to see it wireless and maybe a little bit lighter in weight. With my second choice, I'm kinda cheating because I'm choosing all the Zowie C-series mice. I mean, basically it's just a one mouse, but you're choosing the shape yourself. The S2C, the FK2C, the FK1C, the EC2C, and the CA13C are all bangers in my opinion. My initial EC2C unit had some quality issues, but Zowie sent me another one, and this is built like a tank and feels very premium in hand. Apparently my first unit was a very early sample. All of these shapes are pretty much cloned by competitors, but the CA13C still has no clone. It's also the least sold Zowie mouse, so it's not surprising that it's not cloned, but pretty much every enthusiast loves this shape. The FK2 and the FK1 have a lot of competition, but both of these feel way more premium than any clone that I've had. Same kind of applies to the EC2, but these clones are actually fairly different. For example, the hand feeling with the Model D- and the EC2 is just completely different, and so it is with the X-Lite Wireless. The S2C has a lot of clones, and pretty much everybody who uses these OEM shapes has one. But not a single one can match the build quality and the feel of the coating of Zowie. The new cable that's on all of these mice is actually very good. I'm starting to think that this is the best cable on the market at the moment. In my opinion, it's even better than the XM1 cable. They also made the mice more lightweight, and you can definitely feel that with all of the units that I have here. People were complaining about the fact that Zowie is still releasing wired mice in 2021, but to be honest, this premium feeling is something that you rarely get from any other manufacturer. I think Vaxi, Logitech, and LethalGamingGear are the only ones that can match this quality and the feeling that comes with this high quality coating. But let's move on to TechPowerUp or Sokol and his top 3. Which is gonna be the first one?
First favorite is Pulsar X-Lite Wireless for a very simple reason. It just doesn't have flaws, right? It's just a really good mouse. I don't have anything major to criticize. Smart design, good engineering. Wireless is incredibly good. And most importantly, I mean, Pulsar isn't like, I don't know, 10-year-old mouse company or anything, right? So they came basically out of nowhere and delivered at that level, and for that price, most importantly, 75 USD, ridiculous for the quality. Yeah. I think you've done 2 videos in total on the mouse, and it was like 5 seconds of criticism and 10 minutes of praise. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, then let's go to the second one. What's your second favorite?
Viper 8K. Very simple. Personally, I don't know what it is. I've never been able to really get used to the Viper shape. I don't know why. I mean, it's basically very similar to FK1, very similar to Model O. Both of which I liked just fine and could use just fine. Viper never really clicked, I don't know why. But even then, for me, Viper 8K isn't about shape or cable or anything. I mean, you can criticize all of that, shape, cable, price, whatever. but in terms of execution, in terms of sensor performance, and just, I mean, it's the first 8000 Hertz mouse, and just the level of quality is ridiculous.
All right. But yeah, let's move on to the number one or the last one of your favorites.
The final one is Vaxi Outset AX for a very simple reason, and that is that Outset AX showed up and I plugged it in and it just worked. It just worked, right? I set up CPI polling rate. It took like 5 microseconds, and that's it, right? It's just, it was so reassuring using that mouse, and just how much better it was in terms of actually functioning than anything else I've used at the time.
So that's pretty much it for this one. If you want more videos like this, let me know in the comment section. And also, let me know your own top 3. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button, and see you in the next one. Let's put one bonus extra thing here. So what do you think is the most interesting shape that was released in 2021? Is it the MC1 or something?
Yeah, first of all, you'd have to define interesting. So interesting in terms of you can't put your hand on it, or interesting in terms of unusual.
So something that's quite unique and that you can still use well in game and it doesn't bother you at all, for example. So no wrist pain or nothing like that.
Yeah, nothing that gives me an aneurysm.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I mean, Outset AX is definitely within consideration. I would also say actually Rocket Cone Pro. Yeah, that was another one where I was pleasantly surprised just how well it worked for me. It's also one of those mice which I used like, I don't know, 10 seconds and immediately clicked. So yeah, I think those two, which, I mean, the Com Pro design isn't, it's not that unusual or outlandish, right? But it's still, I mean, when I did the review, I've struggled quite a bit to find other mice that were similar, right? So it's definitely not EC style or anything like that.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what other mouse is most similar to it. I mean, it's not even the other codes like Pure Ultra.
The Ultra is way smaller at least.
Yeah, and completely different in terms of design.
Yeah.
Right? Even the big Kone EMP is way different.
Yeah.
So it's an unusual design, but I think it works really well for claw in particular, even though it looks like a palm shape. Right? So that's actually the kind of right-handed ergonomic I prefer the most, which look like pure palm mice, but are really nice for claw.
Yeah, for me, I guess the most interesting shape, I mean, it gets down to like, can I really rate the MC1 as like number one in that sense, because it did cause me wrist pain, so I mean, I have to kind of take it out of that. So it's down to the Outset AX, and what else was there? Well, nothing really that unique, to be fair. So I mean, every like interesting release to be that was done last year was mainly because of some performance or something like that. For example, the X-Lite Wireless was mainly because how surprisingly good it performed like all around. But it's not really an interesting shape. What else was there? The M4 Wireless is again old shape. And the CA, like, the Zowie updates, nothing new there. So I guess it sort of has to be the Outset AX. I mean, it's a super good shape, so nothing that comes to mind at the moment other than the Outset AX.